Hi there, Planeswalkers. My name is Mercy, and this is 10 Minute Tech. Today's commanders are going to be Thrasios Triton Hero and Kraum, Ludwig's Opus. My goal is to use infinite mana generators like Dockside Extortionist, Kinnan Prodigy, or Isochron Scepter to make a critical amount of mana that allows me to draw my deck with Thrasios. From there, victory is assured. I've chosen Kraum, Ludwig's Opus as my partner here for access to red mana, as well as being an additional draw engine that hangs out in the air and protects Thrasios while I set up my various blue and green value engines. You're going to want to ramp. Put as much mana as you can on the board and hopefully stick a draw engine to refill your hand. Once you've got enough resources, use all of your mana on a potent tutor effect to go get a game-ending spell or Seedborn Muse to help generate enough card advantage to assure victory. We have 3 extremely reliable infinite mana engines built into the deck. Our main win condition is Dockside Extortionist. By using Baron Master Wizard or Temur Sabertooth to return it to our hand and recast it an arbitrarily large number of times, we can make 10 billion treasures to win the game. You can also mutate a Lordrakus onto Dockside Extortionist to return Unsubstantiate or Chain of Vapor from your graveyard to your hand, allowing you to create a similar infinite loop with either of these 2 bounce spells and these 2 creatures. If you have more than one of these mana-generating permanents in play, you can use Dramatic Reversal to act as an instant speed ritual, create some extra mana. However, if Isochron Scepter imprints Dramatic Reversal, you create a feedback loop which generates an infinite amount of mana in any of the colors your permanents can produce. Finally, Kinnan Prodigy and Basalt Monolith combo to make infinite colorless mana. If you can generate just 1 more blue and green mana, Thrasios shows up and the game is over. The final game-winning engine of this deck revolves around Seedborn Muse. By getting to untap on each of your opponent's turn, you can dump all of your mana into Thrasios and get more lands into play and more cards into your hand. By sticking a Training Grounds or a Biomancer's Familiar, this effect becomes exponentially more powerful, giving you multiple Thrasios activations on each of your opponent's turn. If they can't deal with Seedborn Muse or Thrasios, your hand will just have too much interaction for them to be able to fight through. Diving into the mana base, let's discuss these basic lands. I run these 7 basics and I tutor for them aggressively with all the fetch lands in my deck because I enjoy running cards like Back to Basics and Blood Moon. If you can deny them their mana while smoothing your own out with cards like Bloom Tender or Birds of Paradise, you should be able to get very far ahead. We run 9 out of 10 fetch lands, ignoring Marsh Flats because it doesn't get any of our colors. I run all 3 shock lands as well as Ketria Triome. I run all 3 on-color pain lands as well as both Waterlogged Grove and Fiery Islet and Spire Garden. These duels always come into play untapped and give me the mana I need when I need it. Command Tower needs no introduction, and Exotic Orchard is almost always going to make blue and green mana. If I have Threshold, meaning 7 or more cards in my graveyard, this is a fine how do you do to any Thassa's Oracle player attempting to combo out the table. The key to a good opening hand is your acceleration package. You want to make sure you have as many of these permanents in your opening hand as possible, because even if you've got nothing but mana, you can always dump it into Thrasios. Carpet of Flowers is an excellent 1-drop accelerant depending on how blue your meta is. Dockside Extortionist isn't just a win condition, but one of the best ramp cards in the deck depending on how many artifacts you've got in your meta. And Kinnan Prodigy supercharges all of the other ramp in your deck, including Dockside's Treasures. I don't run too many cantrips in the deck because I'm so hungry for card slots, but Ponder and Brainstorm are too strong for me to ignore. If you ever heard your opponents joke about not wanting to feed the fish, they're talking about Mystic Remora. This 1-drop tax effect can either fill your hand with cards or stymie all of your opponents developing their own boards. Ghostly Pilferer. You'll draw a card whenever your opponent casts their commander from the command zone. Jace Vryn's Prodigy is another 2-drop draw engine that turns into a powerful Planeswalker. Probably the strongest draw spell in the deck is Sylvan Library. Don't be afraid to take 8 over and over again to fill your hand or get rid of the cards that you're not interested in. Rhystic Study, one of the most annoying cards ever printed. One of the more unique aspects of my Temur, Thrasios, and Kraum deck is that I employ a number of Planeswalkers. Running 6 goes great with the high volume of fetch lands in my deck, as well as pinging really annoying small guys. Oko, Thief of Crowns, handles everyone's commander and gets rid of the most problematic hate pieces on the table, like Cursed Totem or Null Rod. Narset, Parter of Veils, stops everyone else from drawing cards and can keep those pesky wheel decks under control. Dak Faden is never hungry for an artifact to steal. This deck is built with the idea that combining any 2 tutors should be able to win you the game by piecing together one of your 3 infinite mana engines and allowing you to close the table out regardless of what hate pieces you need to specifically fight against. We're going to start with Mystical Tutor and Worldly Tutor. Merchant Scroll and Survival of the Fittest go in getting us critical spells like Dramatic Reversal and important creatures like Dockside Extortionist. Spell Seeker and Imperial Recruiter are 2 creatures that get the most powerful spells in your deck, put them into your hand, and push your opponents towards their impending doom. Don't be afraid to bounce these creatures for extra value. Finally, Neoform, Eldritch Evolution, and Finale of Devastation allow us to tutor creatures from our library directly into play. Finale of Devastation also functions as a win condition once you've achieved critical mana. We run Destiny Spinner and Vexing Shusher to shut out our blue opponents and ensure that our most important green spells always resolve. Vexing Shusher can make your opponent's spells uncounterable. Along with the Back to Basics and the Blood Moon, I also employ a Magus of the Moon. Lastly, Gilded Drake and Rurik Thar the Unbowed. Gilded Drake, being able to take someone's commander like a Tymna from them, can completely lock their board out. And Rurik Thar is a creature that some spell-based decks simply can't beat. Because we are drawing so many cards between Thrasios and our various value engines, the hope is that we've always got at least 2 pieces of interaction up to both prevent our opponents from comboing off, as well as being able to protect our own combos on critical turns. For bounce spells, we've got Cyclonic Rift, Unsubstantiate, and Chain of Vapor. Abrade and Nature's Claim. Our deck has a very difficult time getting out from underneath Cursed Totem. Pongify and Rapid Hybridization are incredibly efficient 1-mana removal spells. Narset's Reversal, an incredibly flexible, versatile spell that can lead to some of the biggest blowouts in Commander. Veil of Summer, Red Elemental Blast, and Pyroblast are in the deck because often the only way to stop me from winning is by countering my spells. By preempting my blue opponents, I can ensure victory for only 1 mana apiece. Swan Song, Mental Misstep, Flusterstorm. 3 perfect 1-mana counterspells. Can't ask for more than these cards and their brutal efficiency. Daze. Seems a little janky, but I've been playing with this card for almost 10 years, and when you get someone, when you're holding up no mana and you just get someone, you've already played your Force of Will and your Pact of Negation, you just get them. Oh man, get them. One of the most powerful cards in the Commander format is Muddle the Mixture. Muddle the Mixture counters an instant or a sorcery spell for 2 blue mana, or it transmutes into any 2-drop in your deck. I'm just going to show you guys some 2-drops so you can get an idea of how ridiculously overpowered this card can be if you've got enough mana. Muddle the Mixture. 2 of the most impactful cards to enter our format in the last year have been Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting Swat. By playing your commander, you have now threatened free instant speed interaction. Finally, the Holy Trinity of free counter magic in Commander: Force of Negation, Pact of Negation, and Force of Will. Wrapping up, I hope that you'll find Temur, Thrasios, and Kraum to be an exciting and versatile pile of some of the most interactive cards in Magic the Gathering. Combining some of the most back-breaking threats with some of the most aggressive mana engines and some of the most powerful draw mechanics in the entire format, Temur, Thrasios, and Kraum ensures that you will always have something to say about what's going on in your game. Alright everyone, that's it for this week. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on 10 Minute Techs.